Hi, I'm Maryam Tarsa. I'm a Maternal-Fetal Medicine Specialist at University of California, San Diego. Well, first of all, flu is a potentially devastating disease that's caused by flu virus, influenza viruses. There are different types, influenza A, influenza B. Last year we did have a pandemic of H1N1, which is a different strain of the flu virus, which caused the major problem, especially in the pregnant patients. This year, the flu vaccine includes influenza A, H3N2 strain, influenza B, and H1N1. This year, everything is combined into one vaccination. Pregnant patients are more prone to complications of influenza in pregnancy. Last year, 6% of total death caused by influenza was in patients who were pregnant. Most of that is due to respiratory compromise.
When should I get it? I already knew I was going to get it. I just didn't know at what point I should get it.
Once you're in the flu season and the flu vaccinations are available, I would become vaccinated at any trimester in pregnancy. So if you're in the first trimester and you're pregnant currently, I encourage you to become vaccinated. If you're in the second trimester, the same, and in the third trimester as well. Thimerosal is included sometimes in vaccines to basically prevent the vaccine from being contaminated with microorganisms. So it's not necessarily the vaccine itself, it's something that the manufacturers add to the vaccine to prevent contamination. And it does have a certain amount of mercury in it. Obviously, as mercury has become more known and the potential side effects or effects of mercury on a developing fetus have become more known, the goal is to minimize or even eliminate mercury from any products that potentially could be taken during pregnancy. I want to assure patients that even if it's a thimerosal containing vaccine, the amount of thimerosal is so minimal that, again, the potential risk of being infected with influenza is so much higher than the potential risk of a scant amount of thimerosal in these vaccines. So if your obstetrician does not have access to a thimerosal-free vaccine, we still encourage patients to be vaccinated for influenza. Yes, rarely patients have severe allergies to egg. So if you're egg allergic, you do need to speak with your physicians. You probably should not receive flu vaccine. Two is patients with prior history of having had a vaccination and having had complications from it. So severe illness from any kind of a vaccine, that needs to be discussed with their physicians. And patients who have also suffered from Guillain-Barré, which is a neuromuscular disorder. Those patients should also discuss their illness with a physician before being vaccinated. Some people are needle phobic. They don't want to have any injections, so the easiest way out is, well, I'll just get the spray. The spray actually does have live virus, and we don't really recommend live virus vaccination in pregnancy in general.
We do have family members that got vaccines and had problems with autism. They were perfectly fine before they got vaccines, so that made me a little nervous if it would put something in my blood that would make my body want to get rid of the baby.
The concerns about vaccine in pregnancy are unfounded for this particular vaccination. Even with the small amount of thimerosal, there is no good data to suggest it has any correlation with development of autism. We have seen pregnant patients having devastated outcomes with flu, particularly last year with the H1N1 outbreak in pregnancy, whether it being a significant prolonged hospitalization or even death. I encourage you to become vaccinated because it potentially could save your life, and it could be significantly beneficial, obviously, to you, to a developing fetus, and for your whole family. Moms are usually anxious. You don't want to necessarily receive medications you don't know much about, and some of that fear is reasonable. You don't want to potentially change the outcome of a pregnancy that could have been completely different by an injection that you shouldn't have received. So I think as the technology is changing, as more different type of viruses come along that potentially could affect our health, it is very important to have continued research to make sure that what we do for prevention is not going to be harmful. So in that sense, I think it's very important to support that research.